Download this code and get free GPT-4o from codegive.com, link in the description below. Centering a div using position, relative can be accomplished in different ways, but one common method is to use a combination of position, top, left, and transform properties. Below is a step-by-step tutorial on how to achieve this. ### step-by-step tutorial to center a div using position, relative. ### Step 1, HTML structure. First, create a simple HTML structure with a div that you want to center. ### Step 2, CSS styling. Next, you'll add CSS to style the container and the centered-div. The key properties to focus on are position, top, left, and transform. ### Explanation of the code. 1. Container styles. We set the .container to position, relative, which serves as a reference point for absolutely positioned descendants. The height, 100%, makes the container fill the entire viewport height. 2. Centered-div styles. The .centered-div is also set to position, relative, which allows us to use top and left properties effectively. By setting top, 50% and left, 50%, we position the top left corner of the div in the middle of the container. The transform, translate, -50%, -50%, moves the div back up and left by half its own width and height, effectively centering it within the container. 3. Other styles. We set a fixed width and height for the centered-div, along with background color, text color, and alignment properties to make it visually appealing. ### Result. When you load this HTML and CSS in a browser, you will see a green div with the text-centered content perfectly centered in the middle of the viewport. ### Additional notes. Responsive design *. If your design needs to be responsive, consider using percentage values for width and height or media queries to adapt the size. Flexbox alternative *. While the relative positioning method works, many developers prefer using Flexbox for centering elements because it can be simpler and more robust. However, understanding how relative positioning works is valuable for various layout challenges. ### Conclusion. Centering a div using position, relative involves a combination of positioning properties and transformations. This method is effective for cases where you want to maintain control over the positioning context. By following this tutorial, you should now be able to create centered elements in your web applications effectively.